All right, here we are. Recording has started. Hello, viewer. This is for you, Sam, from the Discord, and also Ziggy and Marcus and everyone else who's been asking and following the development of Almighty and been asking about how does it play. Kevin and I wanted to make a little video. We usually have like a daily or every couple days we do a playthrough of the latest stuff that we've been working on. Sometimes it goes long, sometimes we stop halfway and just start discussing and make next step notes. And so what we're going to do today is we do have some new stuff in here that hasn't been tested, that we are just doing part of our normal development, like hour or a couple hours. And what we're going to do is play around through, and we're not going to do much development talking, except maybe discuss the stuff that is new and if we have to make any changes or anything. And we're just going to walk through what a couple turns, one of the 3 rounds, what that we're just going to play through a round. And so then you're going to get a sense for, the turn to turn, the game loop, that sort of thing. So I'm Mal, by the way. That's Kevin. And this is Almighty. All right, let's jump right in. So here we haven't set up yet. I'm going to be playing as the God of Love. Kevin is going to be playing as the God of the Death. Just kidding, the Sun. And here we have the mortal plane. He's going to put the sun out. We're going to set up. So this is the God of the Dead, and this is the God of Storms. I'm going to try to remember. I know that this is a low quality. I'm doing like the free version of this software, so it doesn't have like a super 4K whatever. So I'm going to try and remember to like blow up the cards when I see them like this as we go through. So I'll try to remember to do that. Okay, so we're going to set up, which means shuffle all these decks. You can ignore God of the Storms for now. We're not playing with them. Sun is out. This is the capital. This is the new thing. The offerings are going to go out on the land. And we put out Mortal on every land at the setup. And then I, as the God of Love, as part of setup, will also start with a couple. Let's couple up the Immortal with the Dung Thrower. Some of these mortals are going to have effects. So part of the way this part is new, and so some of these mortals might have effects that we have to house rule in the middle of the game because they may not make sense for whatever reason. That may come up. We don't know. We haven't audited the whole deck with this new scoring system. Yes, I have to put a heart out. They are in love. Dung Thrower and the Immortal. This is decent love. This down here is excellent true love, and this is just toxic relationship. So that's going to be fun. All right, and we're going to start, Kevin, with a God Loophole out on the land. That's the new thing we're doing.
Let's do it.
All right, so this is the land I started in. I guess, yeah, you do better. Start. This is me. That's Kevin, little sunny man. There are 4 ways you get points in this version. And I'll zoom up over here on the big feast table. So this is the big cosmic feast table that the gods at the end of every round sit down to have a big feast when the mortals have festivals to their honor. So the 4 ways to get them is, number 1, winning lanes. So as you're going to see, we're going to be playing cards underneath these 4 lands: the islands, the forests, the mountains, and the deserts. This is the mortal plane, after all. We're going to be playing act cards to these 4 lands and then impacting the mortals that are on them. These acts will gain us belief, which is that pink number in the top left corner. And whoever has the most, that's kind of the strength of the card, whoever has the most of that in the land at the end of the round, once all of our cards have been played out of our hand, will win this offering. This offering is going to be worth either 1 or 2 points. We don't know at the moment how many it is, but whoever wins each of these lanes gets the offering, and it gets reset at the end. That's the first way to get points. The second way is, when you win the land, you look up how much glory you're going to gain. This is the glory track, these yellow stars. And glory is calculated by yellow stars minus red stars. So there are a lot of components that have yellow stars on them. There are the hearts, as you saw before, here and here. if the God of Love is playing. If the God of Love's not playing, obviously the cards aren't going to be in it. There are worthy and unworthy mortals. So mortals start out when they are brought into the game, either worthy or unworthy. And then there is the capital, this piece here, this flag, and huts. Huts represent, there should be another one here. Huts represent the prosperity of mortals. So it's not literally like a little mud hut. It is, well, sometimes it is, but usually the idea is, in terms of game space, that it represents how prosperous the mortals are. And they're each worth 1 glory. And the capital is worth a glory. The capital is a piece that moves to wherever there are more huts. So as you'll see, this may or may not move around, and I'll explain it when we get to it. And then red stars are unworthy, and those subtract glory. So when you win a lane, you're going to look at the total yellow stars and subtract any red stars, and then you will tally that up here. That's one way to get glory. There are a couple other ways to get glory, which we'll go into. And then these tokens over here, these are blessings and curses, which can actually change the value of mortals that are on the lands. Another way to impact how much glory we get. Whoever gets the most glory at the end of the round gets this could be like a dish, like a great dish. Again, this is all prototype part. I haven't spent a lot of time here on this, the graphics and art of this part of it. So the winner is going to get this. In a multiplayer game, there would also be a second place, but since we're playing 2-player, these are not in the game. So it's just going to be whoever gets the most glory gets the best dish. The third way is by taking a seat. So when the order in which you end the round, like how quickly you end the round, if you end the round first, you get this great chair. You get to go on this cool seat. And then if you're the first, you break ties, and you also get an offering. Again, offerings are 1 or 2 points. And then these we're not playing with because it's not a 3 or 4 player game. So then my seat will have to be here, which is worth 1 glory. If Kevin went out first, and I go out second. Again, that'll be clear at the end of the round. And the final way to get points is from your prophecy. Oh, it's not worth points anymore. Oh, yes, it is. Worth points. 2 points. Prophecies are now worth 2 points. So let's dive in.
The whiplash of rapid design iteration.
Yeah, sometimes things change. Kevin's thing as the God of the Sun is he has this big sun piece, and wherever he plays a face up card, that's the little open eye, that's a face up action, he will get an extra belief on acts that he plays under the sun. It's a bit weird now that this thing is new with the God meeples on the land, and I'm just realizing it's a bit weird how the sun is here and also you are here. It's the only God where that is an issue, because I've always said, like, this is you, kind of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, you could be the God of the sun, moving the sun as your object, not as you.
Yeah, it kind of depends on how you see it. Is the sun you, or is it something you are moving? You know, in different traditions, it's the sun god works in different ways, but
right.
Yeah. Okay, so let's do our traditional figuring out who goes first. We'll roll this D4 this time. It's always a different dice, and it'll be massive. 1 or 2 will be you. 3 or 4 will be me. Ugh. That's a 1. That's you.
Okay.
You go first. Okay. Well, at the setup, we have to draw a prophecy and then 5 basic acts. These acts here next to the god with a white border are basic. They're relatively similar. And in the first round, you only draw those. These over here are the mighty acts. And these you're going to gain here as the rounds go on. And those are much more powerful and asymmetric. So at the beginning, the first round is meant to be a little bit of a kind of get you into the game, and there's still the asymmetry of your individual engine or like your individual puzzle, but you don't have too many like crazy effects quite yet. So these are our starting acts. This is the prophecy, and the prophecy says you want to have, if at the end of the round, by the time you leave, by the time you play out all of your cards, if this is true, this condition, then you will get 2 points. So if I had this prophecy, for example, I would want that the mountains is worth more in value, in glory, than the islands. And if that's true, I get points. If I want, I can instead play this prophecy, discard it as a false prophecy, play it face down, and get 3 glory on here instead. Or I guess identifying that the prophecy was false. That's glorious. All right. So Kevin, over to you. Now on your turn, you can, so on your turn card, first there are any start of turn effects. The Sun God does have a start of turn effect. As you can see on the top left there, advance the sun. So what he's going to do.
It's sunny in the mountains.
And then next thing is he will play 1 or more cards. You could play out your whole hand on one first turn if you wanted to. We wouldn't advise it, but we've seen it done. And sometimes to great effect. So that's an option you have.
So my first action here, I'm going to send down Spontaneous Combustion. If you want to zoom in on that now, because I don't think I can.
Yeah. So smite.
And so I'm going to smite this High Priest and send him to the graveyard. And because this happened underneath the sun, that act generates 1 additional belief.
So there's a little belief tokens that can modify much belief. And now, as you can see, he's got, whoa, look at that. Why is that? Huh. So he's got 2.
Yeah.
You gonna keep going?
Nope, I'm done. I guess just some context, I was smiting the High Priest, if you want to zoom in on the High Priest, because they add 2 glory to the land if they're in the capital land. And so I might be doing that for a reason.
Clearly, he doesn't want that. As you can see here, so again, as a reminder, islands, forest, mountains, desert. So this is going to be my guide. This is always the first thing I look to when I'm like, okay, well, what card do I play? I look at my prophecy. All right, I'll try to do that. So I have power here. Some acts, as you can see here with this little lightning bolt in the top left corner, cost power. I do have 1 power. The way I get power is by putting out hearts, pairing up mortals. So I might consider doing that, especially with this card, which triggers specifically off of hearts. But it looks like all mortals, this is a poke card. All mortals out have ongoing effects. Did we shuffle this deck?
Potentially not.
It's possible we didn't. So there are 2 kinds of mortals. There are mortals with ongoing effects, which have that gray box and an hourglass. And then there are mortals with a pokeable effect, which have a little finger and they have an effect that is triggered when you poke them. All right. I like this Stubborn Oaf. I like the cut of his jib. So I'm going to spend a power. I'm going to make his heart grow 3 sizes. He's stubborn, but he is also kind. He's just...
He's like, with respect, I won't be moving.
Exactly. With respect, I ain't going nowhere. All right, that'll be me. Your turn.
All right. The sun moves into the forest. And I am going to take a big turn. I'm going to demand that the dung thrower stare directly at me.
So a lot of this art is temporary. Obviously, the sketchier ones I haven't completed the art for yet. This one's closer to what the final art will look like. You can see the difference here. These are all more or less finished, and this one is not yet. So here, he's going to curse. Cursing is adding negative value to mortals, which, as you can see, he has done to the dung thrower. Not only are they unworthy, they're also filthy, which makes complete sense. I don't know why staring into the sun made him filthy, but that's what happened.
So I gain a glory for that. And then because this was done underneath the sun, I gain a belief token.
Right, so cursing gains you a glory, so now Kevin's on the board here.
I'm not done yet. After he was staring at the sun, he decided that was way too bright.
That makes sense.
So he is headed off to the mountains.
Now, he banished the dung thrower into the mountains, which means that their relationship broke up, and that heart comes back to me, which is not great for cards like this, which key off of specifically, as you can see that little scroll icon, that means that it must be played, this card must be played to a land where that thing is. So Kevin here has one that must be played to under the sun. and I have one here that must be played where there is a heart. But it's also how I get power. So I do want to, the love god does want to be breaking hearts as much as they want to be putting people together, because they need to keep, they only get power when the heart goes away, goes out. And so they need to get him back. It's only 3. All right.
Final action, and then I'll be done with my turn. I'm going, now that the dung thrower is gone, I'm going to bring some warmth and some light. So I'm going to spend a power, because this will cost power, and create a hut. Now that there's no dung thrower there, because there's now 2 huts in the forest, the capital moves to the forest. And that'll be my turn.
So as we said, the when the capital flag is always looking for which land has more huts, and because this land got more huts, it moves. It's worth 1 glory, as you can see. You know, what is that? Why does it do that? That's weird. But it also is important for prophecies, as you can see. So what am I going to do about that? That's your turn?
Yep, I'm done.
All right, I'm out of power, which is not great, because there aren't a lot of mortals out, and the ones that are out are not paired up anymore. How many cards do you have left? 1.
To the big swing in the forest.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. The heretic. The saint.
Yeah, we definitely didn't shuffle.
Those are right next to each other. Yeah. Those are the first and second cards in the deck. So these are opposites of each other, basically. Yeah. I already kind of forgot about this rule, I'll be honest. So the rule that we were playing with is like, if this meeple is here, you get a glory for playing to that land. Did you, or you just decided that not to do it?
It's a tough setup for the sun, because if the sun and the meeple start in the same land, your first turn you move the sun, and then you're always moving away from your meeple. So I didn't forget about it. I just couldn't. I prioritized getting the plus belief instead of the plus glory.
Sure. All right, here's what we're going to do. I can curse a mortal without a heart. You will never find love again.
That's a long life.
I mean, dung thrower, blinded, gets filthy, leaves, wanders off, immortal's heartbroken. And that makes them vain. If I can't,
natural grief process.
If I can't take joy in love, then I will take joy in my own giant rippling muscles.
Been there.
And because that's played in this, I guess I get a glory, huh? Right?
Yeah.
Then I'm going to play face down. So as a face down action, you can play cards face up or face down. Face up, you get the action that's written on them. Face down, you can do actions that are limit specific here. So here, one thing you can do is create mortals, and another thing I can do specifically as the god of love is spread these love tokens around. You know what? I'll just, oh no, but I need the power. Oh, I need the power. Dang it. Well, it's fine. I'll create the heretic here in the desert. Creating the leftmost mortal here in this deck, because this market kind of moves over, shuffles over, gets me a glory. And then now these two are in the same land, see? Now I can play this face down. Wait, I have a better idea. Oh, I need a power. Everything comes down to power. All right, I'm going to play this face down to make them in love, these two. The Messiah and the Heretic is a perfect match. That gets me a power, as you can see here, which I'm immediately going to spend on a seductive vision for the dung thrower. They're going to come back
Brutal.
into the forest. And who knows? Will they, won't they? We don't know. They're coming over. That's what we do know. But the important thing for me is I'm out of cards, which means now I can reveal my prophecy. The islands are worth more than the capital. The glorious, kind, loving, stubborn oaf, sure enough, is worth more than this godforsaken hellhole here with immortals and dunker. It's just drama. It's just too much drama in this forest. It's just drama. So that gets me 2 points.
It's too much dung.
Just dung everywhere. I'm going to get those 2 points for my prophecy because it was completed. This gets discarded. And because I'm out first, I get to go. This should have been 1 more glory for playing that. I don't like this rule. And this goes into the seat here. So because I was the first one out, I take the first seat. That means I will break ties if there's a tie in belief for the lands. And I will also get an offering, which is worth that. Now you know, viewer, and Kevin, unless he was looking at the stream.
It's been very difficult to not look at the stream. All right. The sun moves to the islands.
Sorry, I should mention at the end of the turn. So if there are no cards left, as you can see, you take a seat, you reveal and score your prophecy, and then refill the mortal display at the end of the turn. These move over, new one comes in. Now it's your turn, Kevin.
Okay. I move the sun to the islands. I have 1 card left. I'll go ahead and show my prophecy because you don't have any turns left this round. It was that the forest is more than the mountains. The forest is now worth -3.
Oof. Right. So here, 1 + 1, 2, 3, -1, 2, 3. But the dung thrower means that huts here are not worth anything. So you ignore the huts. That's +1 -3 is -2.
No, -2. That's how math works. And then the mountains is worth 1. So I don't think I'm going to be able to swing that with my final card. I think instead I will play face down over here to create top deck it. It was the medicine woman.
All right, she can heal mortals. Looks the dung thrower and the mortal might be in the market for that. If the prophecy says it's so. The nice thing I like about the prophecy is, yes, the prophecy itself is not that interesting. Like it's not that it's not interesting. It's that it's actually, from a gameplay point of view, very interesting. But like thematically, you're like, okay, whatever, I want this higher than this. But what it does is it gives you a reason as a god to move the mortals around and do things with them that they might not understand, right? They don't know why. Like in the next round, I might get deserts up in my prophecy, and so then I might poke this medicine woman to bring the immortal over, and then she will bless them, removing his curse. And for me, that's important because I want the deserts to increase in value, but or maybe I want forests to increase in value, and so I want to get rid of some of the negative values. There's all kinds of reasons why. Like the prophecy gives you lots of great reasons why you might want to do things that, from the mortal perspective, they're just kind of like, well, that's just that, you know, the gods work in mysterious ways. So that I've been really liking about them.
Speaking of prophecies, mine was false, so I will take the 3 glory.
Right, so you can see on the bottom right there, you can discard the prophecy if it's false to gain glory.
And then finally, because I'm out of cards, I will go sit down at this tiny little chair at the table and gain 1 glory and get the worst dish at the feast.
Yeah. Way down here, this is the kids' table.
That's what it feels like.
All right, so now it's the end of the round. We're both out of cards. First thing we do is we look to see who won each land. I won this one, which means I get this offering. And I get 1 glory from this stubborn oath. Kevin won this one.
And I get -2 glory because this land is absolute dung hole.
Just covered in dung. You win this one. You get 1 glory and the offering. And I win this one. I get this offering. And sorry, so this is +1, 2, 3, 4. -1 is 1, 2, 3. Which means I win the first round here. I win this happy fella. And in a multiplayer, and if there's third player game, then Kevin, as second place in this case, would win the silver one. But as it is, he's going to have to make do with that, which doesn't seem like very many points there, Kevin.
No, the game must be broken because usually I'm winning by a lot at this point.
That's true. All right, then we would reset and we would clear all. Yeah, let's go ahead and just show that. So this resets. As you can see, the value for winning most glory increases as the game goes on. So Kevin is still in the running, even though he is behind in points. And clear these off. These go to our discard. There are 10 basic cards, which means in the next round here, as you can see, we're going to change to round. This is age 2. We're each going to draw a new prophecy. Now we're going to get a mighty act, which is a unique special act, and then the remaining 5 cards from our basic deck. Here's the mighty act I'm going to get. This is an act. These cards they're good. They're quite powerful, but you have to make good use of them. So they give you an additional kind of thing to be working on in the age and to leverage in order to take advantage. And here is the prophecy I have for next time. And then we would put some more offerings out. And we would get to choose, I guess, where to put this meeple. Although I have a feeling this mechanism may not survive.
I would say don't take notes too closely on this part.
Yeah. All right. That is one round of Almighty. I hope that gave you a little bit of a sense of how the game is. We're going to stop the recording, but probably finish out this game or at least discuss how it went. And yeah, let us know in the Discord or on YouTube if this gets posted there. If you have any questions or anything, happy to talk about it. Still lots in development. There's still lots that we have to do, but that's where we're at. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.